Hello and welcome to Mutant Monday number 3 here on the Son of the Morning Comics channel. Today what we're going to be looking at is X-Men number 49. This is a really cool issue and I really like it a lot. That's why I chose it. It has a fantastic cover here by Jim Steranko. You can see that this particular copy here is a very high grade issue. I very much like that. Obviously we won't be using that to do the little review we're gonna do. We'll use the Marvel Masterworks instead. So I don't want to waste too much time, so let's get into that. Okay, so here we are at X-Men number 49. Now, I mentioned this in a previous Mutant Monday video, where the X-Men weren't originally a very popular title in the Marvel lexicon. They only made 66 issues before they started reprinting them, until they got to Giant X-Men 1 and then sort of the reboot of the series at X-Men, with that and X-Men 94. Now, another thing too is that towards the end of this run, they started doing, as you can see here, sort of these individual, or not always individual, but more specifically centered on one or two character stories. I think trying to add a little bit more depth, and I think that really helped them when they got to the new stories, because I really do think that there's some fantastic artwork and some fantastic writing in these stories towards the end of that initial run. So let's get into it here. Starts off, well, the title of the story is Who Dares Defy the Demi-Men? And so it starts off with Angel. He's sort of, I guess, going on a trip down memory lane. Now, I guess I should point out right now that at this point in time, Professor X is dead. So, and the other X-Men, although they still do work together, they aren't all together all the time. As he's thinking to himself here, now just a storehouse of fond memories and regrets. The professor dead and the group disbanded. So he's a little bit upset coming in, seeing everything sort of dilapidated, dusty, leaves everywhere, and he's a little bit upset. Now, I should point out that this story was written by Arnold Drake, and the art was done by Werner Roth, and I'm going to absolutely destroy this last name. The color was done by John Tartaglione. I hope I was close on that. So like I said, Angel's flying around the mansion, and then he's hearing a machine, which he knows he shouldn't be hearing, because they shut everything down when they abandoned the mansion. So he's flying around looking to see where the source of it is, and he does find the source, and it is Cerebro. So immediately, what he does when he finds that Cerebro is on is he realizes he's got to concentrate really hard, because he knows that Jean will be able to pick up his frequency, which she does, and then he explains that he needs her to patch in the rest of the team, because this is serious. Scott, she's easily able to get a hold of in his radio studio, but Hank and Bobby are out of her range currently, as they are going skydiving. Now, Beast is the first out of the plane, Bobby second out of the plane. So, here you can see the Beast is falling, and when he does fall, down low enough that he comes into Jean's range, he hears her, and he's distracted, doesn't pull his cord for his parachute, which is never a great idea. Bobby notices this too. By the time Hank realizes it, he also realizes that he's going to make an awful stain on the landscape, as he says. But luckily, Bobby is the Iceman, and he is able to make a very long pair of ice tongs grab onto the Beast's ankle and support him just long enough that the fall won't kill him. Now here you can see that Jean's sort of wondering why Hank was able to respond for a second and then she lost contact and she can't gain contact with them again. Something is getting in her way. Something is interfering with the signal. And I think it has to do with the goofiest of all X-Men villains, Mesmero himself. Mesmero's in this mansion here, and he's got his elite guard of mutant soldiers. This stuff was all set up by Magneto, so they all glory to Magneto, and of course, his noble pupil Mesmero. And so here you can see, and with this machine here, he's saying that it is the psyche generator, born of the genius of Magneto, bombards my brain with energy needed to send my clarion call near and far to alert all mutants wherever they be, that their day of greatness is at hand. And he's saying, like, awake, awake, awake. So he's sending out this signal. Now, if you're into the X-Men, you know about the whole X gene type thing and the idea of there being, dormant mutants. And so here what he's doing is waking up all of these latent mutants and basically bringing them to his mansion so that they can take over the world. Now, you can see here, Mesmero's telling them, watch out, because there's going to be those wily X-Men are bound to try to mess with his plans. Now, over here, we have this young lady who at this point is a stranger. Her name is Lorna Dane. I'll just tell you that right now. Some of you will know what that means immediately. And she's just in a daze, just walking, not even looking where she's going, walks right into the middle of the street of an oncoming car, is about to get hit by the car, but Bobby Drake, the Iceman, luckily got there, pulled her out of the way, saved her from getting run over by a car. The people over here are kind of wondering, why is there ice on the ground in San Francisco? But hey, stranger things have happened, I suppose. Now, here you can see that Angel can fly. I was going to say Marvel Girl, but we'll call her Jean Grey, because, I don't think they were calling her Marvel Girl anymore by this point. Jean, she can make herself float. But Cyclops can't fly, so he's got to hold on to Angel's hands. But Angel lets them know that, hey, the Avengers lent us one of their supersonic jets so that we can, do this cross-country trip as fast as possible, because they're going to go and see why they couldn't contact Bobby and the Iceman. By this point, they are able to contact them through regular means, so they know that the X-Men are coming to visit them. But, of course, what had just happened was Bobby being the chivalrous ladies' man that he always was, he, offers her, he's so nice, he says, you can come and sleep this off at my place. Because I forgot to mention, when she wakes up, after he saves her, she comes out of the daze and doesn't even realize that she's in San Francisco. She's from 1,200 miles away, has no clue how she got there. So here we see they're back at he's brought her back home, and that Beast is like, dude, don't you know that the rest of the X-Men are about to show up? And, they do show up, and they sort of apprise each other of the different situations that are going on. They explain to Beast about how Cerebro was turned on somehow, and as well, they're explaining about the Lorna situation, that there is a strange girl in the apartment right now. So the Beast says that, you know, being the genius he is, that he can hook up something similar to Cerebro so that they can find the source of where the interference that Jean is feeling is coming from. And so he's gonna stay there at the apartment, and the rest of them are gonna go and try to find you know, this place where all of this where all the trouble is coming from. So you can see here they spot the mutant army guys there, and they know they're in for a fight. I love this page here. I just wanted to say that. I really like the art here. It's a good fighting sequence. I really like that they're all doing their part, but Angel is definitely he's the aggressor in this one for sure. But you know, it doesn't always work out perfectly, because, you know, they're all going after Angel because they see how much destruction he's doing. Cyclops lends a hand, so does Iceman and Jean, but as you can see, Angel does get shot down. And at first they're very worried that he is dead because he's not moving, but he does start to move, so, you know, we know that he's gonna be okay. He's just gonna have some bumps and bruises, but he'll survive. Now, here you can see Hank back at the apartment has finished working on his mini Cerebro machine, and it's going crazy. It's almost like there's a mutant in the next room, and it's getting closer, and he's getting a little worried. And then the door opens, and it's Lorna, and she's just saying, "Hi there. Thought I'd shower, and hold it, you're not Bobby. And that strange costume." And Beast responds, "Greetings, fair lady. I'm a bosom companion of Bobby's, and I'm on the way to a costume ball. Now, who are you and that green hair?" And she says, "You know, shh, that's my secret. I was born this way. I dye it to avoid attracting curious, you know, onlookers." And, you know, asks Beast not to tell anyone. He says he'll take it to the grave with him. The rest of the X-Men arrive back at the apartment there, and now they can see that Lorna is there, and Jean surmises that she was one of these mutants that was unconsciously brought to San Francisco by some strange force. Now, they seem to think that the only person that could possibly do this would be Magneto, but of course at this point in time Magneto is also presumed to be dead. They all saw him drown. So at this point, and I find this is kind of funny too, so now they're gonna hop back, now that they, you know, have gone and they've gotten the machine that they need to detect where they need to go. Hank's gonna go with them, and Iceman is gonna stay and guard Lorna. Now, this is pretty funny because he says, you know, Iceman here can protect you until Bobby returns. Oh, sure, yeah, I'm as good a protector as Bobby. Anytime. Yeah. I think you should just be honest with her, Bobby. No, I'm just joking around. So, you can see here they're back in the Avengers jet, and Hank's machine is going off like crazy, so they know that it's time to, you know, they're in the right place, basically. But they're in the right place at the wrong time, because unfortunately Mesmero and his gang of mutant, I don't know, mercenaries burst into the apartment. Mesmero notes immediately, don't try to take Iceman on your own, he's too powerful, or don't try to take him alive, he's too powerful. And Lorna is obviously very scared. Iceman starts throwing ice chunks at them, builds a huge ice wall, and then here I just want to read this because it highlights to me why Mesmero is so goofy. He says, "You are impressive, Iceman, against my underlings, but now see the full and awesome power of Mesmero." He's such a goof, but an effective goof, because what he does do is he gets the Iceman to not be able to move a muscle. And obviously, with all of these scary people around, Lorna's getting frightened by all of this, and then, in a very, very strange way of saying it, Mesmero says, "Your fear is uncalled for, woman, for you misjudge our intent. You are not our enemy, nor we yours. We come not to harm you, but to worship you." So you come to worship her, but you said, "Your fear is uncalled for, woman." And so, she wants the Iceman to help her. He can't help her because he is still, he can't move a muscle from Mesmero's power. So, in the next issue, it says we're going to find out the truth about Lorna Dane. She's Polaris. And then it's not the end of the actual book. There is the Beast origin story that it's just a couple of pages. And then we're into issue number 50. That's what would be to come. So that'll be the end of this review today. Thank you for joining me here for Mutant Monday number 3. Loved this book, loved bringing it to you. So if you like this content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments down below. You can always visit me over on Twitter at SonOfTheMornin7. Have yourself a wonderful day.